on?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Because my glasses are fogging over and I'm going to take my mask off. But we got the distance going on here.
Don't touch me, but
yeah. Hey, it's Brad and Jeremy, and we are back with the Idaho Falls Family Happy Hour. You can watch it live every single Saturday night and watch it later with your family if if that fits your schedule better.
Yeah, whenever's convenient for you. If you missed the comedians last Saturday, you can still go back and watch that on that Facebook page. But this week, it's super cool. We're going to hit up 6 different things that chances are you've driven past or you've heard about or you've talked about, but you haven't really gone like behind the scenes to understand how these things work or, I don't know, just the magic that takes place to make them available to you.
And we're doing that with the team that is known for it in Idaho Falls. That's the Knowsy Neighbors. So we'll be tossing it to them in just a few minutes. This week's episode is brought to you by Knowsy Neighbors and Murdock Manwaring Company, a real estate group at Keller Williams Realty, East Idaho. So before we make our first stop on the tour, let's welcome in Dr. Matt Larson for we just named it last week. Is it the Mindfulness Minute?
The Mental Health Minute.
The Mental Health Minute.
Yeah.
You can call it Mindfulness Minute.
I can? Okay, cool. Don't confuse me. I'll say it wrong next week.
And we're not 6 feet, but I'm vaccinated. Okay. So.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. He's got the pin.
I'm fully vaccinated. I got it done, second dose 2 weeks ago. I'm all sorts of excited. I'm really looking forward to all this being done. Anyway, Mental Health Minute of this week. We've all tried to distract ourselves a ton because we've been quarantined, we've been in masks. My message today is keep your mind where your body is. Most of depression is, I'm sitting here with you guys, nice place.
Yeah.
My mind could be depressed about what happened last week, what happened this morning, what happened. Anxiety is what might happen tomorrow, what might go worse a month from now, what might go wrong. And that's actually my biggest problem with phones, is they keep your mind away from where your body is. I could be sitting with you guys at dinner, having a good time, and I'm on my phone with my mind
taking you somewhere else. And like you said, maybe to the past or the future.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with phones. There's nothing wrong with social media. There's nothing wrong with YouTube, Netflix, any of it. But when it takes you out of the people you're with. I was sitting at dinner with my sister, and she's like, Matt, you've checked your phone 26 times. Can you just be with me for an hour? It's like, yeah, I can be with you. So that's one thing we can do is pick one thing. If you're watching a movie, watch the movie. If you're on your phone, be on your phone. If you're chatting with Brad, chat with Brad. Keep your mind where your body is.
I like it.
That's your Mental Health Minute.
Good advice.
Thank you, Matt. And let's make our first stop then with the Knowsy Neighbors. Where are we going, Jeremy?
We're going to hit up, the Roundabout at Taylor Crossing, the big water feature with the big
eagles on it.
I love that place.
That thing is so awesome.
It kind of has like a secret to it. It's something that I had no idea.
Yep.
It kind of has a secret to it. And we're going to get to see what that is right now.
Okay, you guys, we're in another location, one of my favorite places, my mother's favorite place. We are at the Roundabout at Taylor Crossing, and we're here with Eric Bird. Eric, tell us your position and who you are.
I'm the property manager down here at Taylor Crossing. I work for the Walkers here at McNeil Development. We built the Roundabout in 2004. It weighs just over 1,000 tons.
Wow. That's a lot of tons.
Tons. It's a lot of weight.
Wow.
We mined all the rock from Medicine Lodge, and it's all natural stone, dry stack.
Wow.
It's been a gorgeous piece ever since.
Who came up with this idea?
The Walkers and Nathan Durchie. Nathan Durchie is the mastermind, the artist, the designer behind it.
Because it is amazing. If anybody hasn't really looked at the sculpture with the eagles and what they're doing and the cougar and all this stuff, it's amazing.
Right, it's called the Protector because of the eagles on top and the mountain lion on the sides trying to get to them, so they're protecting their nest.
It's really awesome.
So we see the rocks, but the eagle and the tree limbs and the cougar, they're made out of what?
The trees are made out of concrete.
Okay.
Wow.
A company from back east did those. They do all the Cabela's building stuff. And Vic Payne out of Lander, Wyoming did the bronzed eagles. They're the largest in the U.S.
Really? Wow.
And they are quite a piece of work.
They are
Yeah.
amazing. So today, and this is a waterfall, how much water does this take? Does it come right out of the river?
No, it's pumped from fresh water. It's 96,000 gallons.
Wow.
It pumps 6,000 gallons a minute.
Wow.
Wow.
Sheesh.
It's so beautiful. And I noticed you guys let it freeze over. Is that the plan? Because I always thought fountains weren't supposed to get frozen or whatever
It's
it is.
just such a beautiful piece with the aesthetics, with all the ice on it.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It is
Yeah.
gorgeous. So what we're doing today, though, is kind of special.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't know, you have to maintain it on the inside.
What's behind door number
What's
one?
behind? I didn't notice it until one day I was somewhere and I'm like, is that a door back
It is
there?
a door.
So you're going to take us inside the fountain.
I am. You're going to get a tour and see the guts of it.
So is this the water?
That's water level.
Wow.
So all the concrete's precast. We dug down, made a foundation, started setting the precast. It's 11 feet deep. The concrete's a foot thick.
It's not 11 feet down from here.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes,
Wow.
this vault's 11 feet deep, which goes to the bottom of the roundabout.
Oh my
This is the
goodness.
water level. 25 horse pumps. They pump 3,000 gallons a minute.
Is this where all the water goes up?
It is. There's a foot comes down and a big tank down there. It sucks the water up and up she goes
Wow.
And you
Holy
run it
moly.
year round.
year round.
How many, are there days you don't run it that you decide with the temperatures so low?
Nope.
Or?
Every 5 years we do preventative maintenance on the pumps.
Yeah.
When it freezes solid is the best time to do it because we can turn it off and nobody knows it's not running. So we pull the pumps out preventatively and do a check on those so we don't have a catastrophic failure in the summer when everybody likes to see it run.
Wow. This is bigger than most New York City apartments.
Yeah.
What's down here? The same
Come on
thing?
down. Corridor. These are all lights, controls.
Oh, these are lights?
Yep.
Wow.
Those are LED lights, or fiber optics, excuse me.
Oh.
Main power control. And the south tower.
Wow.
It's running right now.
It's running.
Okay.
Yep.
Ah, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is cool.
It was a lot of fun to build.
I bet. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful pieces in Idaho Falls.
I
so
think, yeah.
it really is.
Yep.
This is amazing.
And this
wow.
is 100% owned and operated by the Walkers.
Correct.
The city didn't do anything
Nope.
with it? Okay.
Wow. Well, that's a great thing for us, for the walkers, that they're willing to build. I mean, Taylor's Crossing is beautiful.
They've done a wonderful thing for the community
Yeah.
as far as development goes.
It really is.
The river gardens you've seen,
Yeah,
which adds a
gorgeous.
huge aspect to the river.
Yeah.
The roundabout, they've done a great job
Well,
improving Idaho
it
Falls.
really changed this area.
I agree.
It changed the trajectory of this area. It was a big thing.
It used to be all lava rock and
Yeah.
not developable, and they came in with a dream and made it happen.
They're amazing.
A lot of credit goes to
Really
them.
cool. Really
How
cool.
thick is this ceiling? I can't even see the top of the concrete.
No,
I mean,
it's a
so
foot,
thick.
a foot and a half. All the concrete's a foot and a half thick.
Wow.
Wow.
So this is an 11 by 11 by 11, and then it comes up to here, another 11 by 11, and then it dry stacks up on top, and all the rocks stack
Do you
around
have
it.
to, do you maintain and clean up there at all, or does it, the rain or everything just take care of everything? Like the eagles and stuff?
The rain takes care of it. We haven't touched them. They probably should be
Wow.
touched up a bit,
Wow.
but they look good.
And do these run 24/7?
24/7.
Really?
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, this is awesome.
This
Yeah,
is cool.
I appreciate
This is
it.
pretty cool. So you guys, if you haven't seen it, you're crazy. Come down and see it. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing this. And thank you, walkers, for doing such a beautiful sculpture and a beautiful fountain.
Yes.
Okay, all right, let's see what's next.
All right, Nosy Neighbors, that was really cool to see. And we've got 5 more stops, right?
Yeah, we've got 5 more stops. Real quick though, I do want to say my favorite part of that that little roundabout feature, the eagles. For me,
Yeah.
I see that massive, especially the one eagle right there with the wings up and everything. That thing is my favorite. It's so
My
cool.
favorite part is getting a traffic ticket for just driving around.
Right. I'm not leaving.
Looking at it all day long. All right.
Yeah.
So now our next stop, we're not going to go very far at all. Like for the rest of the episode, we might toss you all the way across town. But this time, They're right over there because we are inside Colonial Theater at Willard Arts Center in downtown Idaho Falls. So let's throw it over now to the Knowsy Neighbors.
Hey everybody, so here we are at the Willard Arts Center, also known as
Colonial Theater.
the Colonial Theater, and we're here with Brandy and Brett.
Brad.
I've been saying it the whole time I was here and I got it wrong on camera. And we're here to take a look at a few things that no one's ever seen or been in Willard's Arts Center. Okay, so what are we going to see?
You're going to get to go up into the turret. Brad will show you that. And then we're going to take you all the way up high where the lights shine up. What do we call it, Brad?
That's the cove, is what we call it.
So you'll get to go all the way up there where only the really high, truly trained individuals change
That
lights.
is it. That's
Which
it.
is when I will bag out. Thanks so much.
Okay, let's go take a look. Oh, shit!
That's just your first ladder.
This is the rail system here at the Colonial Theater. What we have here is there's 26 line sets, or battens if you want to call it, that you control from this area up here on the rail. Each of these line sets we use counterweight, so we stack weight here to balance out whatever load we have flying overhead on the stage.
So this is what raises and lowers all of these
Yep, battens they call them, or line sets.
battens.
So some of them are heavy, real heavy. Some of them are not too heavy. So it kind of depends on what we're controlling at the time.
How do you just slide it on the end and push it down?
No, you just lower it down. You just lower it down, and then
Oh, got
you
it.
just do it from the ground level.
Look at that.
So you just bring it down, do whatever you need to, adjust the lights for you.
It's by hand.
Yes, the newer systems are all motorized, but these older
Okay.
systems are all mechanical. So this is what we call a traveler. This one will guillotine up and down. Then we can also open and close it, depending on what we need it for.
So during a show,
got
is
it.
someone up
Oh,
here the
wow.
whole show?
Depends on the show. On certain shows, we'll have 4 or 5 people up here. On other
Wow.
shows, we don't have any. It kind of depends on what they need, what the show needs,
And
basically.
they just know exactly when to do what. And
Yeah, we're all on a communication system, a clear comm system we call it, so we can communicate back and forth when something needs to move, or if it's not
Very
safe to move something in, to hold off. So,
That's awesome. All right, what's next?
okay, we're gonna go up to the cove next, which
The
is
cove.
a lot further up.
Do we have to ride a ladder further up?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, as we head down, I'm gonna reset this also.
Wow. All right, Chad, you go
All
down
right.
Be
first.
careful.
You went so fast.
Oh, look at this. What is all this?
This is where we store a bunch of equipment.
No, what is all this?
Oh, these are different artists that have signed
Wow.
different things. There's Christian Chenoweth. There's a couple other notable ones here. I don't know.
So do you get everybody to sign it?
No, just the ones that the tech
Brian
staff,
Regan?
ones the tech staff like. we
Just
have
the ones
sign
you
it.
guys like.
Yeah, basically. So you'll find some on here that aren't well known, but we really liked them for whatever reason, so we have them sign it.
Kristen
that.
Chenoweth.
That's pretty awesome.
She was awesome. She was super nice. So back in the days, this used to be where the pipe organ would live. At least the organ itself. The organ itself lived on stage, but this is where the speakers or the pipes would live. And this, I don't know if they had the curtain here then, but this was where the sound would project from. We occasionally use this spot to do like a little vignette, if you want to call it, or some little addition to the play if we need to use this spot. We don't use it very often, but we have used it before in the past, and it's kind of a handy little
This
thing
makes you
to
think
use.
of somewhere where a movie sniper would be sitting
Yeah.
as they're in the curtain
Well,
behind.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah,
There you
something
go.
like that. So we
That's
use
awesome.
it a lot, so we'll distract everyone and do a little vignette for 5 minutes here while they're resetting the stage for the next scene. So it's good for us to kind of keep things flowing and
I love that.
different things. So we use it a little bit.
Nice.
So
And we're going way up there.
go way up there, yep. All right, how you doing there, buddy? Good. Good. So this is what we call.
It was really
She
high.
chickened out on us.
Why do you think I'm sitting out here?
I'm like, 2 more ladders up.
I'm all feminist, but I don't need to crawl him to the top.
That is awesome. That is really high.
So we're sitting at
Good job,
probably 50, 55 feet above the seating area right now. This is what we call the cove. This is where we have one set of lights where we can do a kind of a high lighting system to kind of light and highlight everyone with a wash. And then we also do follow spots here. We have our 2 follow spot positions up here for when there's things on stage that need to be followed around with the person following them. We also do a few specialty things like snow machines and a couple balloon drops or different things up here in this area. So
Can you light up one of these and shine it on her?
yeah, should be fine. So there we go. There's our little follow spot, and she can do a pirouette.
Do a pirouette, Jess.
She just did. There we go. All those years of ballet.
Come on, Brandy. You love the
years old.
camera.
So again, depending on the show, we'll have 2 people, sometimes more, but usually no more than 2 up here running the 2 follow spots. Before the show, we'll come up here and spend a lot of time focusing the lights. We'll change out the gel color. We'll do some different things with the lighting to be ready for the show. So that's this is one of our main lighting positions. Above the stage, there's some other lighting positions, but this is the one that mostly the audience gets to see the faces on. And this gets really hot. Right now it's really comfortable up here because we haven't had shows in here, but when there's 1,000 people in the audience and it's winter and the heat's running, it gets brutal up here. So and then
Almost
again,
the best seat in the house.
yeah, you can see everything from up here. Again, this is area everyone's on ClearComm, so we're able to communicate with all the tech staff of what's needed, if something's needs to hold for a minute while somebody's not ready, or if there's changes or go cues. We spend a lot of time on the communication to make sure we don't miss anything. The Broadway shows will show up at 8 a.m. Usually we're here the day before, the whole day getting ready for them to show up. When they show up at 8, we'll spend from 8 a.m. till sometimes 4 or 5 a.m. the next morning. Wow. By the time we set up, do the show, tear it down, get them out. Just making it all work. That's what we do.
It's so cool that we still have this place. All right.
All right.
Okay, you guys, so I hope you enjoyed seeing all the stuff behind the scenes down here at the Willard Arts Center.
Piece of history.
Piece of history. Amazing. Awesome. So I would encourage you to come to the next show that you see is going to be here and support the Idaho Falls Arts Council, which is the Willard Arts Center. Okay, all right, let's see what's next.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys.
Well, there it is. I'll bet you never saw the behind-the-scenes stuff at the Colonial Theater. Again, we said this when we first started. You're going to see things that you've probably never seen before, and that was super cool. Where we're going next, though, I guarantee this is going to catch everybody's attention and make everybody smile. We're hitting up the zoo.
Yeah, and we want this show, Idaho Falls Family Happy Hour, to be something that not only is specifically for the Idaho Falls audience, but something that you can enjoy with your whole family, and everybody, like you said, everybody's going to love this. The kids are going to go crazy for this one too. So get ready to see it, Idaho Falls Zoo. And this week's episode is brought to you by Murdock Manwaring Company, a real estate group at Keller Williams Realty East Idaho. We'll be back with you after this, but for now, let's throw it over to the Knowsy Neighbors.
We are here at the Idaho Falls Zoo with Sunny. Are you still the education director?
I'm actually the public engagement curator now.
Whoa.
Yes.
Very
fancy,
fancy.
yeah.
She's very fancy, and she's amazing. And I didn't say her last name because
Katsianis.
Blast it. Katsianis. So she's going to take us in. We're going to go see what the animals do during the winter.
Let's do it. This is Brittany, our amazing primate keeper, and she's going to be talking to you. We're just going to spend a couple of minutes. Brittany, maybe you want to highlight something in here, a little bit about primates?
So what we have here is we have looks like Ema up front. So she's our 17-year-old red ruff, and she's our matriarchal female. And then George is 4 over there, and he's our male in here. These 2 are just a pair right now. These guys can live for in 2 to 8 pairs. So typically you have a mating female, that's the matriarchal. figure of the group, and then you have the rest of the females that kind of are just there to support, and often they're all related. So it's really hard when you have 2 individuals to find related individuals unless you bring them all in as a group. So hopefully eventually we can do that. Since Ema's a little bit older, she probably wouldn't like other females in here. But the other cool thing about these guys is that these long tails here actually help them balance. So if you think of the snow leopards, when they're jumping on those big kind of tall cliffs, this tail is acting as the same for them as it is for the snow leopards. So they're actually able to balance with that tail, which is why it's so long, and it's also thick so they can wrap it on them if they ever get cold. But with all this...
Those are cotton top tamarins. So we've got golden lion tamarins and cotton top tamarins.
Yeah, they're so super cute.
And their little platform up there, isn't that the one that's heated? Yeah.
So they have
They
a
love
heating
that.
area up there, which is about, it ranges from 95 to 100 degrees. So they're really toasty up there. The rest of the exhibit is relatively cooler just because of the type of heating that we have in there. But if they ever get cold, they can go up to that spot. Because they're so small, they don't regulate their body temperature as well. So we want to make sure that they have those nice heated spots to go if they do get cold. Luke, Leia!
She said she was going to go call him.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
And see, it works.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Putting on a show.
This is Luke, he's 4 years old, and then we have another otter in here, Leia, she is 14. Luke is the one that you'll see mostly up against the glass when you do come to the zoo. He loves to interact with people, he is very rambunctious because he's so young. Otters are actually completely built for this kind of weather, which makes them really special.
Really?
Their hair is actually very thick, and you can see all the bubbles coming out.
Yeah.
And that air actually allows the heat to keep into the coat, and then it releases and also makes them more buoyant. So they can actually float up after they dive down.
Wow.
That is a nice thick
beautiful.
piece of ice on the outside.
Yeah.
Look at that ice.
Yeah, so
So
these
do
guys
you-
are loving this kind of weather right now.
You heat this water in the
No.
winter? Really?
Since these guys are native, they would be in these kind of temperatures
So this is
anyway,
some
so this is
cold
pretty
water.
natural for them.
Okay.
So we do have a couple of species here, you guys,
Yeah.
that either people think, wow, they spend winter outside, or wow, don't they spend all of their winter outside? So we're going to meet one of our bird keepers next, Erica, and she's going to clarify a few things for us on probably some misunderstandings that people might have about a couple of the species that we've got
Love
here.
that.
So let's head over here to Erica.
So it surprises me to see flamingos outside.
Sure. So these guys, they do look like they'd be a little bit too tropical for the Idaho Falls climate.
Yeah.
But they are Chilean flamingos. They're known to migrate over the Andes Mountains. So that means that they can tolerate some pretty wild temperature fluctuations. Because they're zoo animals, they're a little bit spoiled. So if it's below 20 degrees, they go inside. So this barn over here has a pool inside. It's got heaters and skylights, so that way they stay as warm as they want to. As long as it's over 20 degrees, they get to come outside and enjoy the sunshine.
Wow.
So
There's
we
somebody
They
going
just keep
in and
going
out,
back
in
and
out,
forth.
in and out.
yeah. So flamingos are they're kind of dumb. They've got little teeny tiny brains, and that's okay. Some of us are just pretty, right? So these flamingos, they see me 5-6 times a day. I've been working with them for 5.5 years now. They still act like they've never seen me before.
Erica, tell us a little bit about, I'm sure the audience is going to wonder what's going on with all of our freeloaders that are in there.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit
Some
about
look like they were invited to be here.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
so-
They act like they should be here,
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah, no, they.
So all over the zoo, especially during the winter, we get tons and tons of mallards. So the mallards are the ones with the green heads. Those are the males. And then the females are kind of the more dull, brownish, kind of stripy guys. Those are, again, they're all wild ducks. They come in because they know there's free food and no predators here. So they rely really heavily on having open, thawed water to stay warm on. We have plenty of that here because we're keeping that open for our animals. So they come in and they live the good life during winter. So they get lots of free food. Our duck food intake goes up by 3 to 4 times in the winter compared to the summer.
Goodness.
And so all of the mallards that you see year round, but especially in the winter, are wild and just come to freeload. These guys are like, there's no need to fly hundreds of miles and we can just hang out here. So, yep, it's their winter home.
One of the things that we end up seeing a lot usually in the fall and spring, is influx of some of the animals that are moving to and from the different zoos. And so Garrick is here. He's going to talk a little bit about that with us. And the reason for that is basically good shipping temperatures. So why don't you tell us about a new fella that we've got that's joined the zoo there, Garrick?
All right, so if you can see behind me here, this is Diego. He is our newest Guanaco.
Guanaco.
Guanacos are very closely related to llamas and alpaca. So they live in that alpine environment, the high mountains of South America. You can see he's very excited to be meeting new people.
Very excited, very engaging. Look at those pretty eyes.
And teeth. He's showing off his teeth.
He's smiling
Look
at
at what
us.
I got.
So winter's a great time for us in order to introduce our animals to one another, especially when we have a new animal like this. So you can see all the way in the back there, that's our old male guanaco, Chico. So these guys are just kind of getting very cursory glances at each other and getting to know each other through the protective barrier of that fence around there. So we're able to do a lot more of these stuff through winter, through getting the animals in and out a bit easier, and also because without the public, it's a little bit less stress for these guys to become comfortable with one another.
Cool.
Oh, hey guys.
Alrighty, so these guys are our 3 girl zebras, our little zebra herd. As you can see, these guys always have indoor and outdoor access, especially in the winter. People who come to the zoo very often might notice that these guys look a lot shaggier than they do in the summer. That's because they grow a really thick winter coat. These guys are also ruminant animals, so they have 4-chambered stomachs, kind of like cows and horses. Whenever they have, that stomach design, that can generate a lot of heat for them. So we make sure to keep them pretty well fed on grasses and grains in order to keep those stomachs moving so that they never feel like they're too cold.
Wow.
Interesting.
Beautiful. Now these guys, are these African? Where's their origin?
So these guys are African originally, of course. Typically savanna type animals, so they do like those big grassy plains. But they're able to get along fine in the cold with those thick winter coats, and because we make sure that their diets are taking care of their metabolistic needs.
Yeah.
So why are our goats back here, Michaela? This looks a little bit different than the petting zoo, right?
Yeah.
So our goats are back here because in their normal summer habitat, they have sand, which is not great for our goats in the winter. It can get really slick. And also their barn is quite small. So back here they have a nice big barn that we can heat for them, and they have this big, huge yard for them to run around in. Which they really enjoy. You can see that they have enrichment around. So we got Christmas trees donated. These guys absolutely love Christmas trees.
Isn't that funny?
They strip off all the bark, all the pine needles, absolutely everything. Should I talk about the new goats now? Yeah. Okay, and then we do have some new additions to our herd this winter. So right there is Mr. Waffles. He's one of our new kids.
Hi,
we call them our
Waffles.
breakfast
This one
club.
likes me.
So they all have breakfast names, and our 3 girls are over there. So Waffles is the only boy, and then over there we have Pancake, Muffin, and Miss Maple, who's checking out the hay right now. So we decided to go with a fun breakfast theme for them so that kids can remember their names easily, and also they kind of fit their personalities pretty well.
That's fun.
So these are the same goats I'll be petting in the summer.
Yep, so
Okay.
you guys will get the first pets on these next summer.
Yeah, and we hope we'll be able to turn back, go back into having the contact yard open,
Yeah.
the petting area open. We weren't able to do that this year with
Hopefully. Get
with
that
COVID.
vaccine
so
out, yeah.
get that vaccine out, and
right.
let's get things going, right? Let's get
That's
things back to
awesome.
normal. All right, so we are here with Katie. We're going to turn the time over to her now. And we're going to talk about a couple of animals that we have at the zoo here that love the winter. So let's do it.
All right.
Wow.
So these are 2 Bactrian camels, and this is Gobi, our male, and Zazu, our female. And these guys are natural, wow. They are native to temperatures like this. So they're from the Gobi Desert, which is in the northeastern area of China and the southern part of Mongolia. And when you think of desert, of course you think more of the Sahara Desert or down in the US, around Nevada area.
You don't think of cold in desert.
No, you
Right.
don't.
But the Gobi Desert does get cold.
Well, and it's an important thing to remember too. That's a great point. We live in the middle of a high plains desert. That's
True.
why Idaho Falls
True.
looks the way that it does. So these guys, the Gobi Desert is very similar to the climate that we're experiencing right now.
As you can see, they have all this nice fur here. I mean, you can see just how long and thick it is. I mean, it's real thick. You're being so good. I'm so proud of you.
You can do it, Jessica.
And so it's just like wearing a nice big winter coat with like a turtleneck and gloves.
Wow.
So they are well insulated. And as you can see, those humps, so that's actually where they store all their fat. Hi, mister. So in times that they can't find food, they actually can take those reserves. And our female, whenever she gives birth, she actually takes from those reserves to make milk.
Wow.
So her humps, when she has a baby, will actually get smaller because of that fact. And when he goes into rut, which will be coming on soon, he'll actually go off food. So his humps will get a little leaner during that time as well.
Wow.
So rut is when an animal starts going into mating season. So for these guys, just like a lot of hoof stock, they'll start spreading their scent around everywhere, rubbing on things. Again, if you can see the top of his head right there.
Looks like he's got oily hair.
Yeah.
That's his scent glands.
Camel cologne.
Yep,
Camel cologne.
Eau de camel.
So is that all hair, or is that some skin underneath on his neck?
That's all hair.
That's all hair.
Yeah, that's all hair.
So the easiest place to see more skin is underneath here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still fur, but it's only about this long. And that's because when they lay down, they tuck underneath.
Yeah.
So all of this here will come up and cover
Interesting.
that. And then on his knees, and you can see here on his leg, this bald spot, that's kind of like having a knee pad. So it's nice and thick there, so when they lay on it, they don't get sores.
Yeah.
And so again, that's another way to kind of cushion. It's like wearing a shoe, cushioning against the cold when they lay down.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. Wow.
Hey, mister.
You know, so here we were talking about animals that are solitary, and it's interesting because snow leopards are actually very, very solitary as well. It's funny though, we've had some very personable males here at the zoo, have we not?
Yeah.
So Katie's going to tell us a little bit about Mr. Layan here and why he likes the snow so well.
So we have our two snow leopards. This is Layan, and up on the hill up there is Pandora. So Pandora is turning 3 this year and Layan turning 5. So they are right there at breeding age, and this is kind of their breeding season right now.
Okay.
So we're just kind of monitoring them and hoping that earlier this spring we'll have cubs.
Yeah.
We'll just have to kind of wait and see.
And Katie, you might talk a little bit about, you know, we talked about how Layan was so personable and he kept coming up to you. Obviously, our big cats are not pets. You know, we get that question a lot. Do you go in with them? No. So Katie, you may talk a little bit about training.
So with all of our guys, especially the ones we can't go in with, we try to do as much training as possible. That way we can get them to come up to us. You saw how he was standing up on the fence. This way we can check out their paws, we can check out their tummy, we get them to open, check their teeth. Inside the holding, I have kind of a little chute built to where I can get them to lay up against the fence. That way we can give them voluntary hip injections. So if we ever need to vaccinate them, sedate them, we can do everything that way without stressing them out. We don't have to dart. And then one thing that I'm going to be trying to work on is getting voluntary blood draws. And with that, you have to manipulate the tail, and most cats don't like their tails touched. Hi. But through a lot of that training, that's also where we create these bonds with them.
Yeah.
So this is the female, this is Pandora.
Wow. This is quite a treat. She usually does not like to get this close.
So you will never go in here with the animal?
No.
Okay.
All right, Sunny, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
So fun.
To see behind the scenes at the zoo, winter at the zoo.
Yeah, winter at the zoo. And we are tentatively going to open around April 10th-ish.
10th-ish?
And so, yep, that's what we're hoping. So,
wow, a few months away.
Yeah, come and see us.
Can't believe
That's
it.
cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you. It was awesome.
Oh, thank
and you're
you.
open what days again?
Once we open, we're open 7 days a week.
7 days a week, okay.
7 days a week, yeah.
Perfect.
Yep, exactly. So,
Awesome.
thanks for coming, you guys.
Thank
It was
you.
great to have you.
Okay, you guys, make sure you're hitting the zoo in the summer because it's amazing and these animals are amazing.
And come find out if there's going to be snow leopard cubs.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right?
hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Pretty
That'd
cool.
be cool.
All right, okay, you guys, let's see what's next.
Hey, it's Brad and Jeremy, the Idaho Falls Family Happy Hour. Join us every Saturday night right here And if you're, maybe you're watching the live stream right now, or maybe you're watching this on delay later, because you can always go back and watch an episode from the past. We had a stand-up comedian last week, and this week we're with the Knowsy Neighbors, showing you all kinds of cool spots around town. My favorite thing about that one is I love that the goats get to have a Merry Christmas by eating probably your Christmas tree.
Right. Yeah.
They brought in your Christmas tree and they devoured it. That'd be fun if they'd let you like bring it and watch it be eaten by the goats. Maybe we'll talk to them about that. See if we can do that in the future.
I liked the monkey with the white hairdo.
Oh yeah. I think he's a scientist.
Yeah. He looked like a scientist. He looked like what's the
Doc Brown?
Sure, I don't know, but I like that guy. He was awesome. Well, and the zebras too. But again, who doesn't like the zoo?
That was a great stop. So next up, the Idaho Falls Airport. And if you think you know the Idaho Falls Airport, get ready for big changes.
It's awesome.
And is it going to be maybe like a little mini Salt Lake Airport kind of a vibe? Jeremy will know soon enough because he's always flying places. Oh, speaking of which, your annual trip, let's not reveal where. Let's not reveal where. Your annual trip might fly could maybe
out of Idaho Falls.
Out of Idaho Falls in the future. We'll tell you what that is right after this with the Knowsy Neighbors at the Idaho Falls Airport.
Hey everybody, so we are at the Idaho Falls Airport and it looks a little different than what you expect because we're here with Rick. Now I just forgot the last name.
Or how to pronounce it.
Cloutier.
Okay.
I think I wrote it down with the ooh so I'd remember it's Cloutier because I want to say Cloutier, it looks very French.
Whatever you say.
Rick, what is your position?
I'm the airport director for the city of Idaho Falls.
So you are the big wig.
I don't know about that, but
he is.
He try to stay out of trouble mostly.
Okay, so Rick, you're giving us a behind the scenes on all the new construction at Idaho Falls Airport.
Yes.
All right, let's see it. Tell us what we got.
So we're kind of standing in the future TSA screening area. If you can recall where the screening area is now, it'll be moved towards our office more, towards the north. And they'll be expanding the size about double from what we have now. It'll allow us to have dedicated pre-check lanes, 2 lanes to
so
move
like
into.
our TSA versus, the TSA pre-check, right?
TSA pre-check, yes.
Because right now it's all one line.
It's all one lane mostly. That they let you in front of the line, but we'll have dedicated lanes. It'll give us opportunity to have more lanes.
Awesome.
And better
We're going to the
screening.
next level.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And as we kind of go around the corner here, there's construction going on both sides. So
how long will the construction go on? What's the ETA?
We're completed about July.
Acronyms as I can think of.
Will be completed in about July of this year. We started last June. It was about a 12-month total construction time.
Wow.
Once we're done here, we should be done the downstairs about February 1st, and then we'll close down the upstairs because we're adding 3 additional gates downstairs.
Wow.
So once construction is complete, we'll double the size of our gates from 3 to 6.
Wow, that is a lot.
Yes, we're pretty happy.
So you're moving from 3 to 6
3 to
terminals.
6 gates. And then we're doubling the size of our hold rooms where passengers wait.
Wow.
Wow. We're going to show Salt Lake how it's done. They just added their one terminal.
You know, I mean, one of the nice things of doing construction after COVID started is we're able to put things in place that'll help us protect our passengers more.
Yeah.
We have upgraded our filtration system for our air.
Things you never would have thought of.
I would have never thought of to like hospital standards. So we'll have better filtration systems, more passenger waiting area, kind of larger space to spread people out. This is a new area. Actually, this just used to be an open parking area. We parked equipment underneath. And if you can see so there'll be a gate to the north, a gate to the south over here, and then 2 gates to the north on this side. That'll go out.
Because previously there was only 1 gate on the main floor.
There was 1.
And 2 gates upstairs,
Yes, there was
right?
1 ground boarding gate. You went outside.
Yes.
But now you'll actually have covered hallways, similar to what Salt Lake is on a smaller scale, that brings you out to the plane.
Are you adding more airlines? Are we going to see more increase in flights, or is that not changing?
Well, we're always working to add more airlines. And I think we've discussed before that adding airlines is a very competitive thing. We're always negotiating with airlines, so we're always looking for community support to assist us in attracting those airlines. So
what would attract an airline? What would need to happen for us to either increase the flights or more airlines to join?
Basically, an airline won't start any service unless they have a revenue guarantee to help them defray some cost for that first startup year.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So where would you say in the next 5 to 10 years you would imagine Idaho Falls having more flights in and out to?
We'll definitely have, I would predict more flights to the West Coast, Seattle, direct flights to Seattle.
Seattle would be a great place to have a direct
flights
flight.
to Los Angeles, LA, the Basin area. We'll continue adding to the east, to Dallas, maybe some others. So I think as the community continues to grow and we can garner more community support, we'll be able to attract those.
Yeah.
That's great.
So this will be all seating area.
So this will be seating area, but will you access a plane from this area?
You will access a plane right out these two doors. This will be gone. This is part of our old filtration system that we're replacing. There'll be two doors on this end, one right here. There'll be a gate counter. You get to where they call you up.
Oh yeah.
There'll be both sides of the downstairs will have these covered hallways that you'll be protected from the elements all the way out to the plane.
So how many people come in and out of the airport?
Well, in 2019, we served about 360,000 passengers.
Wow.
In 2019.
That is amazing.
Of course, that number in 2020 went down to about 250,000. But still, we served 250,000 passed through this airport, even during the pandemic.
Wow.
And as we exit, we'll go out through the security screening area and kind of explain what's going to happen there.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Up over the TSA area we currently have now, we're actually adding the floor, completing the floor for upstairs. We're going to add a full-service restaurant. So we'll have currently have more of a take and go pub stop. We'll have a full-service sit-down restaurant. The take and go we currently have, so we're expanding the restaurant services.
Cool.
It'll expand more space upstairs. Again, it adds more space upstairs, adding the third gate upstairs, which would give us a total of 6 gates. So last year we completed a bag claim expansion. We added about 8,000 square feet of bag claim area to our old space. It allowed us to double our baggage claim points from 1 to 2. If you've ever noticed that if you have the apps, it'll tell you your bag has arrived.
Yes, that's right. My Delta thing will tell me your bag has arrived at the...
So they scan it coming off the plane. Of course, they put on those luggage carts. You see them throwing your luggage onto.
No way!
Wow.
Look at that. They just put them onto the thing and they go out.
They'll start the belt. And I don't want to start the belt now because
No,
it gives people false hope.
Get everybody going,
inside. They'll start the belt and it goes inside for your recovery. You can see right now he's opening the door.
And throwing it on.
Well, these are cold jobs. Oh, that's the noise you want to hear, because that means it's about to start.
Yep.
So he loads them up and off they go.
He loads them up and they start to go around in a circle and you collect them inside.
There it is. Well, you guys, again, take a look. This has been great.
This has been
fantastic.
really fun.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, come check it out. All right, what's next?
Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I know that's not a done deal. It's just something that, something that's up in the air. But can you imagine flying to Dallas out of Idaho Falls?
I know. It's my favorite trip every single year. A lot of people like to get together with family for Thanksgiving. My wife and I and the kids, we like to go to Dallas and watch the game. That's Thanksgiving.
I'm assuming you didn't do it this past Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we skipped it this last year. This last year was a little funky.
How would it be to I mean, I'm not driving you to the airport. But I mean, other than that, it sounds great though, doesn't it?
Oh man,
Yeah.
just to arrive at the airport, leave your car, extended parking, or have somebody drop you off, and then
Crazy.
Yeah, walk right
crazy.
out and you're in Dallas. I can't wait.
And it's
Hopefully
going to be
that happens.
so cool to see the building when it's done too.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the Knowsy Neighbors now as we go to the Idaho Falls Civic Center for the Performing Arts.
Hey everybody, okay, we now making another stop. We are at the Idaho Falls Civic Center. And we've got some pretty cool things. So Ed, tell us your position.
I am the manager of the Civic Auditorium in Idaho Falls.
I grew up at the Civic Auditorium, then here it says William J. and Shirley.
It's the Civic Center for the Performing Arts is the official name change that they did about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
What we have is the William J. and Shirley Make Auditorium. So where the seats are in here, that is the
name of the auditorium.
Which their name was on the zoo education center as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So.
Yes.
Obviously.
And there's plaques inside. They are the ones that started this whole renovation thing possibility. So one of the biggest problems that the Civic Auditorium has is we don't have a big enough lobby when there's a whole bunch of people in here.
Yeah.
True.
The other thing we don't have is we don't have any rehearsal space.
So we're adding that.
Yeah, we're hoping to add a rehearsal space back here in the back. This is the stage itself, and this is back here behind the stage where the grass is behind the auditorium right now. And it will go down all the way down to the end of the school.
So it exists to what point right now? Where does it end?
The white.
The white.
The white is what exists today.
Got it.
So, and
Wait
it shows
a minute. The white?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah, so they're adding adding lobby onto the front.
Nearly up to Holmes.
Yes.
Wow.
Where are we right now?
We're right here where the white is. These pillars are the pillars that are behind you, where the windows are.
Yeah, that's a big lobby. That's neat.
Cool.
And it will have a second story, which will have a big meeting room in it as well.
Wow. Cool. And additional bathrooms.
Yes, on both floors.
Uh-huh.
They will stay in front of the facade that's now, and the lobby will be out in front of
Oh,
that.
so you're not adding to this wall, you're going to go up out there.
Up out there, we'll do a second level.
Wow,
and that would be
amazing.
a big meeting room up here with a men's and women's bathroom.
Wow, a sky bridge, awesome.
And would these doors be gone?
I think we'll keep the doors, because then if you could have a reception out in this room while there's something going on in here.
That's cool.
Because you could keep the
So
isolate
cool.
sound. All right, let's go back to the stage. So one of the things we did, other things we did is we cut the wall off, because for some reason it showed in the original plans it was supposed to have a railing for the orchestra pit. And when they built it, they built the wall, and they built the wall all the way up to here. And one of the problems that we had is if you were short and then you were in the front row,
no show.
there was nothing to look through. It was just a wall. So, and the other issue we were having is you would have a lobe of like violins that were up against the wall. Their sound would kind of lobe over the first few rows of seats.
Wow.
So the first few people in the first few rows didn't hear all of the audience, all of the orchestra.
The worst seats in the house instead of the best. Look at
The
these
other
big
thing we
springs.
did during that was we added a motorized pit lift in here.
Oh.
And we also got a new orchestra shell. And you can see the cloud pieces for it. And they're on motorized battens as well. So instead of having to lower them in, flip them, and then lift them back up by hand, we can actually run them with the computer and run them in and out.
Wow. That's
So-
awesome, because they lower them down for the sound to condense the sound down.
Yeah, so what we have is we have 10 wall units that go with it that actually make it a hard wall all the way around the orchestra.
Okay.
So we have nice reflection coming off of the stage out into the house. And then we also have the orchestra all the way out onto the pit, because that's one of the reasons the pit was put in, is so we could come all the way out.
Yeah. But this goes down.
It does.
Are we going to see that now?
Sure. So we can go all the way down. This used to take 4 guys in about 2 hours to do.
And we just watched it happen in 1 minute.
In less than a minute.
So are we going to go up those curly stairs?
Yep. Okay, now if you look up, you should be able to see stairway that goes all the way up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You won't get dizzy on a stairway, Jess.
I think I should be okay on the stairway.
And if you do pass out, just,
Why don't you walk behind me? Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
So here's the first landing on the stage right side of the auditorium. And this is where our battens and our arbors are over here.
Huh.
More weights.
Wow.
Lots of weight.
Can I use one of these and drop it and raise it?
What?
Sure.
That'd be
There
cool.
he goes.
You're actually going to move this set with the lights on it. So pull down.
Here he goes.
That's just not a little bit of weight you have to have. You got to probably put 80 pounds of pressure to.
Will I go down in between those?
It should.
Woo! There it went.
Look at that. That's amazing.
Brad made it look way easier at the other place.
Yeah, he was just like.
That's a lot of weight.
So, but see, I make it look easier too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh.
What a pro.
But I know what I was getting into. Some of them are heavier than others. Some of them will move almost on their own.
Huh?
So ironically,
but
it's easier
pound
to go
for
up and
pound
down.
on this one.
Yeah.
So for every pound I have on the batten, I have to have a pound of counterweight on this side.
Yeah.
On the double purchase, so this one here is a double purchase. For every pound I have on that side, I have to have 2 pounds on this side in order to move it. If you look up on top of the arbor, you see individual cables.
Yeah.
There are 5 of them. They go up to the top, over, and then they drop in the 5 spots where you see cables across there.
So complicated.
So the furthest one is longer than the nearest one.
Yeah.
But they all move together.
Wow.
So.
All right.
All right, let's keep going up.
All right, I need to get a season pass to this place.
I told you it would take
I gotta
you some
hold
time.
on to something. Come on, Jess, crawl over.
Yeah, so like I said before, there's 5 or 7 lines on every batten, depending on where they're at and what they have to lift.
And there's no weak spot on any of this.
Well, yes, there is, because it's a different load if I put a bar here like that, or if I put it across this beam. There's different amounts of weight I can put on them there.
For like a human to stand on it.
Oh no, he'll never go through.
Come on, Jess. This is weird for me.
I don't think I can do it.
I mean, that's so far down there.
And you can see the motorized battens, or the motorized.
How many motorized? You have 3 motorized.
I have
Are those
3
just
of
for the
them.
really heavy ones?
They're the orchestra shell that we have
the
right
shells,
there.
yeah.
Look at this.
This is cool.
So has this always been here, or was this added sometime?
Nope, this was original to the building.
When was the Civic built?
Completed in 1953.
Wow.
So 1953.
You are at the top of the Civic Center.
Uh-huh. I shouldn't have to feel like I have to hold on to something, but mentally, my body says this is danger.
That is something else.
Oops.
My knees are shaking. Okay, down we go.
Let's go this way.
Oh, okay.
For just a minute. So here would be the brains of the lighting system right here. This is our lighting rack. So,
wow.
Each of these controls 2 circuits. And they have breakers to turn them on and off, and then they have electronics to control them and ramp them up and down.
Wow.
So this is our dimmer rack that we installed 2 years ago.
Wow, that's fancy.
So this goes actually behind the speaker wings.
Oh.
Here's the speakers for the auditorium. And then we have, you can actually see the seats out here.
Yeah, it's a screen.
Through. Here are lights that point down towards the stage. This is considered the box boom location.
Does someone have to be in here, or they run it all by computer?
Run it all by computer. All right.
All right, where are we? How high are we going?
To there.
Okay, Tommy, check this out. This is pretty cool. And these are called the orchestra.
These are the wall pieces for the orchestra shell.
Wow.
On that cable.
Hanging from the chain motor up here.
On one cable?
On one chain, yes.
Just one.
Just one at a time.
And then he drops it down, grabs the other one.
Takes us about an hour to do all 10.
Jeez.
Wow.
Holy
Nelly!
Oh, she was so jumpy.
I'm the one that's going to get crushed by this. I can feel it. Wow.
So yeah, we'll come up here and we'll lift them up. Just lift them off.
Go put your toe
and then that rope right there, one side will move it out, one side moves it in.
Ah, okay.
And that will travel the motor out.
All the way to the other side?
No.
No.
It only goes
out.
out.
It only goes right there.
Oh, and then you got a mover
around
or down there.
We have another mover down on the floor.
Wow.
1 hour to do all these.
Yep. Now we're going to go this way. Our spotlights are all the way at the top of the auditorium, all the way to the back.
1967. Looks like it was written yesterday.
So we're over the audience, basically.
Yes. Yeah, you're over top of the seats.
So does someone stay up here, or is this all run?
This is all run from the light booth. They'll give me a light plot, hopefully, that and where they want the specials to be ahead of time.
Okay.
Because these all have to be aimed ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then we can turn the circuits on, individual circuits on from the computer.
Is this your map to the dimmers?
Yep. That's what dimmer they are.
You know, people come here and they think, these musicians have trained so hard to play their violin. There's a lot more behind the scenes than just listen to the violin.
Yeah. Depending on the show, there'll be probably up to as much as 20 hours of light set and prep before a performance.
Well, thank you, Ed. This was enlightening. It was enlightening. I went all the way to the top, and that was something for me. So that was pretty cool. Thank you so much for showing it. And I hope everyone...
About as speechless as you've ever been.
Yeah, I was just going to hold on to that rafter as long as I possibly could. Thank you again.
No problem.
Okay, all right.
Come back anytime.
Let's see what's next.
What a great episode this week of Idaho Falls Family Happy Hour. We are Brad and Jeremy, and Civic Center for Performing Arts, formerly known as the
Civic Auditorium.
Civic Auditorium.
Yeah,
Man, how
yeah.
soon I forget.
Yeah.
How many times do we share that stage together?
Countless times.
I don't
but
even
all
remember.
the upgrades, I can't believe
It
it.
doesn't even look like the same place.
No, all the upgrades are phenomenal. I think seeing stuff there in the future, once everything is absolutely done, is going to be amazing.
Yeah, really excited for so much going on in Idaho Falls, and that's one of the things that's so fun about this episode is being able to go around with the Knowsy Neighbors. Speaking of which, I haven't said this yet, and I should. If you haven't been on their Facebook page yet, make sure you go to facebook.com/Knowsy Neighbors or just search Knowsy Neighbors on Facebook, because they do this all the time. They'll go around and show you different locations all the time, and you don't have to wait for an episode like this. We have one more stop. Oh, and I want to mention our sponsor this week too, which is Murdock Manwaring Company, a real estate group at Keller Williams Realty East Idaho.
That's right. I love the Knowsy Neighbors, mainly because they take us, like Brad said, take us into these cool places. And this next one's awesome, Idaho Falls Power, and you're going to meet a massive turbine named Heidi, born 1982, right here in East Idaho, the first of its kind in this country, is what I understand. But anyway, we'll chat after this segment. But you're going to like this.
Okay, you guys, so here we are. We are at Idaho Falls Power, because we know probably if you want to see something, you want to see that turbine on the Idaho Falls. So we're here today with Jolynn and with Bear, and they're going to give us a tour of what's under the river. Sounds good. All right, what do we got here?
So this is actually a map. This is kind of gives you an idea of where our turbines are at. What people don't always know is that the city actually operates more than one turbine. We actually operate technically 6 turbines at 4 different locations. We've got Gem State, which is our little crown jewel. We've got the lower plant, which is just off Sunnyside. We've got the city plant, which is right here. And then we have the upper, which is just a few miles north up the river. And all of those generate about 1/3 of the consumption that we have here in Idaho Falls.
Wow.
Thank you, water.
Yes, thank you, water. Water.
Renewable.
The truly renewable energy.
Yes. If anything, hydro is a huge factor in what we provide to our customers here.
Wow.
And am I hearing
So we
talks
have a little
about
bit of
Idaho
nuclear.
Falls doing nuclear or something?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're currently in the study phase of the small modular reactor project, which is called the Carbon Free Power Project, which is the new scale module to be built out here.
Wow.
So first of its kind hydro plant, and then we're going to be first of its kind
nuclear.
So, and the cool thing is, I mean, this is how cool Idaho Falls is that not only we're regenerating electricity since 1900, but we're also stepping into some very new technology now with nuclear. But the really cool thing is that, you'll see a lot of news articles with a lot of utilities saying, hey, we're going to be carbon free by 2040 or 2045. Idaho Falls Power is already carbon free.
Nice.
So this is the dispatch center. So he actually is in charge of operating all 4 of the hydro projects. So he physically controls the releases of the water and the creation of electricity from the computer, center there. And
I feel like that's a lot of power for one man to have.
It is. We give Roy a lot of power.
Roy gets anything he wants, it sounds like.
Yeah. And then it also controls the distribution system from here too. So all the switches and substations and feeders to keep the lights on. So anytime we have outages or disruptions or what have you, then obviously it all comes in.
Do the things on the board light up if there's an outage?
Nope, they don't. We used to have a digital pegboard, and that used to be the old style technology. So what you have now is if you look over on the kind of larger screen on the right, it's basically a recreation of that. So that one does.
Right in front. The one that's sitting, that's kind of pointed toward this wall.
Yeah, so you'll see it's
kind of looks the same as the wall.
Has the green lines around it and the red squares. So if you
just right there.
Yep.
So you have one dispatch person kind of running this, and you have it 24/7?
24/7, 365.
And they're monitoring what our consumption is, what the generation is, whether they're seeing all kinds of different things to help kind of predict or know exactly what we're going to need power-wise in the next like 1 to 2 days. Sometimes a little late. We buy a lot of power in bulk, obviously, if we know forecasted out, you know, for the year or whatever, but they have to kind of help fill in the gaps.
How does the power get here from the Tri-Cities? How does the power get from the turbines to California?
It's a good question. So the big high voltage power lines you'll see driving all across the region, electricity travels at the speed of light. So it's one of the few commodities that the second it's produced, it has to be consumed. So at all times in the western United States, there's one interconnected grid, at the point that it gets generated, it has to be consumed somewhere in the west. And supply and demand always has to be in balance. So we're watching to make sure that our resources stay in supply and demand balance, even though they're coming from other places. And you'll actually schedule it, and there's a whole process to schedule electricity across other utilities lines to get to yours. So it's kind of one big cooperative where people are buying transport services across other transmission systems to move energy around, you know, the total western United States. So
I feel dumb that I had no idea that's how it worked.
So when that wind is rolling in Ryrie and around Blacktail, it's hitting California within seconds.
Instantaneous.
Instantaneous.
So this actually, it's changed a lot down in here. This is actually kind of our little makeshift museum.
Yeah.
We put together. There's a lot of old stuff in here.
Jeez.
This is back in, I mentioned that Idaho Falls Power has been around since 1900. The city of Idaho Falls was actually one of the first cities in Idaho to start generating its own electricity. And so back then, the mayor and the city council at the time campaigned to bring public power to the city, and they purchased with this bond for $4,600 with some change, this turbine. And this was the first generating turbine in Idaho Falls.
Very cool.
So obviously it's teeny tiny compared to what we use today.
But still really cool.
But this is what powered the street lights downtown in Idaho Falls.
Wow.
That actually was the first started back in October of 1900.
Wow.
So
amazing.
When all these other utilities talk about having electricity in the region, and they've been around for, you know, less than 100 years, Idaho Falls Power was here longer than that. Wow. So that's really cool.
Very cool. And you did mention to us before the camera was rolling that this is the first turbine like this in the country?
Yeah, so this is a bulb turbine. And the bulb turbine is a very interesting, and we'll show you a picture here. Basically in the 1930s, 1940s, technology that came in Eastern Europe, Austria specifically. But it's kind of similar, but if you notice, it kind of sits different than most turbines. Most turbines are vertical.
So what you end up doing is you take the generator, which typically sets up top in the generator deck, and you turn the whole thing horizontal in the water column so that the water actually flows around where the generator is and hits the turbine impellers to, you know, turn the shaft to spin it.
So right about here is actually, if this was a glass wall, we'd see water on the other side. And then the turbine actually goes about, I think it's like 40 feet deep down below us. So we're actually over the turbine right now. So water is flowing under us. In fact, this is always the part that the kids really like. If you get right on here, you can kind of start to see some of the vibrations of the turbine. So you can kind of feel it.
Yeah. So the generator sets underneath here. This is the generator deck. So if we have to rewind the generator and a motor are the same thing, just one spins one way versus the and then if you have to take it out to rebuild it, this whole platform up top here comes off, and then we crane the whole thing out in pieces.
So obviously this is Heidi. This is her birth date, 7/6/82. This is one of the hatch pits. The other hatch pit is over there. We go down. You walk over this way, you'll actually see her.
Whoa!
And this is her. Yeah, this is Heidi.
Wow.
The funny thing is, I think that, you know, when people are amazed by the size that she is, she's not a big dam, but she's big enough that it's amazing. People don't really know she's here.
Wow.
And then, so essentially the whole Snake River is flowing through that tube right now. So all the water you see in the river is all currently going through that tube. Yep.
All of the, oh my goodness.
And if you come in here in the spring or summer when it's generating hard, these will actually be vibrating a lot more and it runs it a lot harder. It's pretty quiet in here right now.
Yeah.
This is the quietest you'll hear it.
This is really quiet for what it comes,
For what it normally is.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially if you go outside and you go out to the tail race and you see, essentially all the water that's going down the river is currently going through that tube. So essentially all of the water for the Snake River was flowing through that tube and now heading downriver after we've generated electricity with it.
That is unbelievable. That is looking a lot smaller now.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty crazy. And to think that river flows are, I think 1,800 CFS right now. So when flows are up around 9,000, that elevation of the water will be right up to the top of that concrete, and it'll be. I mean, it's raging coming out of there.
I feel like I've come here to see the future.
Yeah.
Like this was amazing.
We'll learn about the past that we didn't know existed.
Amazing.
Really?
Thank you, Jolynn. Thank you, Bear.
Yep, thank you.
This has been awesome and amazing. And I hope you guys have enjoyed to see the behind the scenes on the cool things that we have here. So, all right, well, this has been Jessica Carden.
Chad Murdock.
Your nosy neighbors, keeping you
in the
know.
Idaho Falls Family Happy Hour. We are Brad and Jeremy.
And I'll tell you what, that last thing with Idaho Falls Power was awesome. My favorite thing was learning about the fact that every single drop of water that ends up in the Snake River passed through that massive turbine. I don't even understand that. I also don't understand how you can just transfer power to other states. I don't understand that. I'm a stupid person.
No, let me explain it to you. Technology.
Yeah, that is always
That's how they do it.
It's just technology.
Yeah. So that is really fascinating and hopefully legal. I mean, I don't know.
How do fish get through
who
that hole?
Who owns the Snake River? Is there somebody that we need to be talking to?
That owns the Snake River?
Yeah, are we going to get in trouble later? Was this basically investigative journalism by Knowsy Neighbors? Oh, speaking of Knowsy Neighbors, what a great episode with them this week. And if you are thinking, you know what, I would like to see more behind the scenes throughout Idaho Falls, they've got a lot of episodes on their Facebook. And you just go to Facebook and search Knowsy Neighbors, which is KNOWSY, as in keeping Idaho Falls in the know. So check out Knowsy Neighbors. You can go to facebook.com/Knowsy Neighbors to get right to them. And this week's episode is brought to you by Murdock Manwaring Company, a real estate group at Keller Williams Realty, East Idaho. And we are going to be here again next Saturday night.
That's right, and the Saturday after that. Seriously, we've got a few things that we've got planned for you for the next 4 weeks now, I believe. We'll be talking to a chef from
Russia's Kitchen.
From Russia,
we'll have
a
Alex.
local chef.
Yeah, Alex will be teaching us how to cook and teaching you at home how to cook.
Yep, and a Marvel artist. Brad and I are going to learn literally how to draw some cool Marvel characters. Can't wait for that.
There'll be sketch work, so you'll get to learn that at home too. So join us on an upcoming episode. We'll be back next Saturday night right here on this channel. It's Idaho Falls Family Happy Hour. We're Brad and Jeremy.
See you next week.
The Knowsy Neighbors, keeping you in the know.
The Knowsy Neighbors, keeping you in the know.
Nosy Neighbors, keeping you in the know.
Knowsy Neighbors, keeping you in the know.
Knowsy Neighbors, keeping you in the know.
So the Knowsy Neighbors, keeping you in the know.
Hey guys, we're here with the Knowsy Neighbors, and we're keeping you in the know.
The Knowsy Neighbors, keeping you in the know.
The Knowsy Neighbors are going to keep you in the know.